first of all, as Manujda has depicted and said that what has happened and today also, but Himala does not say, it reminds me one of the famous quote of the genre of the philosopher that when tragedy repeats, it becomes, first happens, it becomes a tragedy. But when it repeats, it becomes a farce. Not today, what is happening in Bangladesh is actually a farce. So, and what he has correctly said, if you read the book, it's a must-read book. Those who are students of politics, those who want to especially know about the neighborhood, I think this book is an eye-opener because you have heard about father of the nation, Mujib Rahman, in the many books, many things. But Manujda has a both deep insight and a critical analysis of the personality of Mujib Rahman. That's very interesting. In the audience, I also find another reference, Mahendra Bed, who also covered Bangladesh. So it's a great thing, no doubt. But I will just start with that. Manujda dedicated his book to Mukti Yoddhas. And I hope you know that now the present government has changed the definition of Mukti Yoddhas. So the Mukti Yoddhas of before 5th of August 2024, or you are dedicating this book to all the Mukti Yoddhas of Bangladesh. Secondly, one question actually is haunting me for many times, many days, when Indira Mujib signed this in the Treaty of Peace, Friendship and Cooperation. No following governments has renewed that agreement. Even Sheikh Hasina also did not renew that agreement. Why? What was the reason? That was a template for relations of bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh. Because I found from your book, when Khandakar Master came into power, one of our diplomats went to him and threatened, quoting this act, that if you bring Pakistan here, we will impose this act. Impose this act means India may intervene. Intervene once again. That's the threat of by, I think, that time Mr. Shubimal Datta was the High Commissioner, and later on Shamorshen, who has said, and it is also interesting, two forgotten diplomats, actually nobody discusses about them, who were actually one of the pioneers. And Shubimal Datta actually, Indira Gandhi wanted to keep him there, but he didn't. Right after retirement, he came back. I think so, what I gathered from here. And so there's a question. Also, one thing is to my mind, you have the first time I saw in a book where Manujda directly held responsible Pakistan, ISI, and US embassy was involved in the killings of Sheikh Mujib. But the role of China is not being elaborated in this book. So, because China is the country who recognized Bangladesh after the assassination of Bangabandhu, and that too after 1977. So the role of China is also intriguing about when we discuss about Bangladesh, even in the present context also. It is definitely US. You have also mentioned about United Kingdom embassy. And you have reported the recent incident, we have talked about one Bengali officers in the US embassy. You have a source, I think he has given you a lot of information, I have read from this. But CIA and ISI, role of CIA and ISI, you know, even Home Minister, when he visited United States of America and met the Henry Kissinger, the Washington State Department came out with a statement that India is convinced that US has no role in it. But in Calcutta, we found Mr. Priyaranjan Das Kunsi in Delhi, Bhupesh Gupta, they openly said role of CIA and also of the ISI. And also Indian government, Indira Gandhi didn't say publicly anything, but she was trying to investigate on that issues. So the Henry Kissinger statement actually was not liked by here in the Indian establishment because that was not a joint statement. That was a unilateral statement by Henry Kissinger. Ultimately, Bhupesh Gupta here, CPI, the member of parliament, who challenged the statement. He said, no, I have ample proof. That what Manujda has described here in detail is very interesting. It's almost like you are reading a crime thriller, the assassination of a leader. So that's very interesting. So I said everybody should purchase that book and read it. And one interesting thing I would say I found in Manoj's books that he has mentioned about Garipur's height. But nobody knows. Even Western press came to know about Garipur has fallen in East Pakistan. And from that, Western press came to know by the Manoj's report in Statesman. And when Mujibur Rahman came to Calcutta, 1972, for an official visit, where he first acknowledged the role of Indian journalists. That is the reason the Club of India has decided to put Bangabandhu's picture here, because we are giving him this credit that he has recognized that without these journalists like Manoj Da, Western press would not have known what is happening in there, Bangladesh. So we have, here is a media center, name of Mujibur Rahman Media Center. We are keeping it here. It's only in India and only not in Bangladesh. You will find Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's portrait here. It's a full-length portrait. I hope you are all seeing it.